Hey, Fish back here, guys. What's up there, boys and girls? Welcome back to the show of making stuff with Canadian people. Hopefully, things are good wherever you live, all around the world, that things are okay for you. And we're going to come back today. We're going to do some coloring, probably, just to make things look a little nicer. And maybe we'll make a new type of cup. But we'll be clever, and we'll do it the easiest way possible. Hopefully, you guys are ready. So let's just first start off with Shift D this. We're going to steal this plate and we're going to make a little saucer out of it. But we're going to have to just adjust it like that. Now it's a little too thin. And what we're going to do is we're going to make ourselves a little teacup on top of that in case you're having coffee or tea in your diner or in your tavern. So we'll start off with that. We'll go from there and see if I can come up with some more ideas before the end of the show. You might think about things in the Tavern. There's not too much in there. I don't know. So do that. We're gonna shrink the bottom. So go to edit mode, grab the face, shrink that. Pretty good. Okay, then we're gonna control B it. Okay. Now that looks pretty bad, obviously. So we'll go ahead and give it some edges, something like that. Fairly good, I think, for a teacup kind of look. So right away, we'll just Shift D it, boost this up a little bit, shrink that down. All right, and that should give us a clean edge on the inside to make the cup on the inside look as well. Pretty good. And we still got that flat bottom, so that should be pretty good. And we'll just object bool difference on the top difference, because the bottom one is going to give us a bunch of options we don't really need right now. Now to make a handle. All right. So let's Shift A. Let's make a cube. Yeah, I know, always a cube. I'm telling you, it gives you the most options. If you can find a better shape, you tell me it. Alright, so we're just going to curve this edge and this edge. Control B. And just go to where you're happy with the shape. Something like that. Okay. Now let's go much thinner, something like that. We'll Shift D it again. Sorry, I got a sniffle still. I've been sick for so friggin' long. I do not know what's going on. This cold just will not go away. I think it's gone. It comes right back. So I apologize for the sniffling. Maybe it's just my allergies. I don't know. So here we go. And we'll just bool that shape. Once we're able to grab it, we'll just bool that shape out of the other one. Alright, obviously it's a little big, so we'll S it down quite a bit. Let's move it into our place where we're going to want it. That's a little off, obviously. Something like this. So obviously it's still a little big, so let's just move it around. Something like this, and then something like this. Okay. Should give us a more appropriate size. Just want the edges to tuck in just a little bit. Hopefully we can get them both in without shoving them through the other side. Oh, I'm right off again. And that is coming through. So what I would probably do is probably the best thing to do, instead of stretching one of these edges or the other, we will just find the right angle and we will turn it in a little bit. That's not the right one. That's not the right one, so it's got to be the middle one. It's always the last one I try, no matter what I do. Because then it's going to be reverse of that. 15, so maybe 10 actually. See if that's a little better. That looks pretty good. Okay. If you don't like it, you can straighten it out, and you're just going to have to change the sizes of your edges. I kind of don't like it actually, so maybe we will do that. I was thinking that might be a cleaner way to do it, but let's just go to the handle, then to edit mode, and we'll go to faces, and we'll grab this face, and we'll just hit E. Just extrude it a little bit in there. It might be not perfect, it might give a weird texture, but you should barely see it anyways. I think that's good. Looks like it fits in pretty good. So maybe we'll do a bit of coloring. I just Control J to attach those together. And maybe that'll help us decide what else we might need at this tavern anyways. kind of want to put a piano. I don't know how hard that'd be. I feel like it'd be pretty darn hard. Maybe we'll color for a minute and we'll think about it, but you know what? But what even needs to be colored? These things don't read. Maybe the candlestick, but maybe we'll make a bar. Maybe we'll try that. And this is holding up our middle, so why don't we drag it all off, I guess. Let's drag it all off to the side there. Maybe a little farther, because I don't know how big our bar is going to be. Alright. Well, let's do a little bar. You can do your bar the size you need for your game. Everybody's game is going to be different, so. And hopefully you're making a game. I really believe in small-time game makers making like a big difference. Anybody can make games, but if it's just the same generic stuff that everybody else is putting out, games never evolve. We need small-time gamers out there trying to do new things. Even if their games don't have the graphics other games have, it's more important that they're just out there making new games in general. So if that's you, I say good job, sir or ma'am. I should say or ma'am, of course. Because as you guys know, our programmer, Queen, is a female. She's one of less than 10% of female programmers that are out there programming right now. 90% of them are male. And I think there should be more females out there. She has a lot of creative, amazing ideas, and I'm so proud of her. Programming is amazing, considering she's only a year in or so. I think she's pretty amazing altogether, and I think a lot of people should be inspired by that and realize what they could do. Female, male, everybody. I'm just going to move this one back because I think it'd be front. The front would be flat like that. If you agree, do the same. If you disagree, do it the way you think it's better. That's fine too. You know what we're going to do? Okay, so, no, let's not do that yet actually, sorry. Let's just do this. I'll explain the other part when we get there, but let's just go ahead with this. Let's not move that. Let's shrink it. Now when we move it out, it might actually fit a little better. It's just a little big. Something like that. And that way you can have inner shelves. Okay. If you want to make them capped off with a piece in between, you can make them a little smaller if your cap piece can fit. But I'll probably do it the opposite way and do a cap on the ends of these. Something like this. You can stock your shelves on your inside of your bar. Maybe make this guy a little bit bigger. Got a little bit more room up there on your bar. You're probably going to want to leave the ends open to connect to each other, but let's just cap them off for you know how to. So what I would do personally, just make another square. And obviously you're entitled to your own ideas and everything. I'm just here to give ideas and suggestions and different ways to make things that maybe you haven't thought about. And we could always have talk about this in the discussions if you guys want to talk about different ways. I have one fella named Cosplay Zine, and he is always giving really good tips to people and just information. So if you just happen to see him in the comments, make sure you read what he has to say. Seems like a pretty intelligent fella. Alright, so I'd do something like that, and then I'd just match it up as best as I could to this. And something like that. Okay. If you want to shrink it a little bit and have your bar top come over, that's fine too. It's up to you. But this is what I would do. Actually, I kind of like the other idea now that I suggested it. It's probably too far, but then we'd move down a little bit. Stretch this just a hair again, that way. Something like that. And I'm just going to go fast. I'm not going to get exactly in tune because I'm going to take too much time, and you guys are watching an example video. You don't want me watch me sit there and mess around with stuff for too long, I'd imagine. Maybe you do. Let me know in the comments. I don't mind, but I just feel like I'm being rude when I do it. I don't want to be rude. Alright. Maybe that's just us Canadians. I always worried about being rude. Alright, something like that anyways. It's a little bit off as you can see, but then I'd shift D it check my axes, right click to cancel it. It was up here, so I just remove my minus. Maybe you don't need to check, maybe you're better at keeping track of it, but I just lose track. My mind's thinking about the stuff I'm making in game and stuff like that, and I forget my axes, where I'm sitting and all that stuff. I'm going to stop messing with that because it's going to take a little bit to get in the right spot, but you get the idea. Kind of give a nice look, a lot of different faces on the bar surface, but let's do even better than that. Let's give your bar a little bit of class, okay? So what bars usually have up against them is called a kick bar. And what a kick bar is it's just a little bar they put in place to keep you from kicking their bar, literally. Because people come up and they go to rest their feet up against the bar and they scuff the bar up, and then it needs to be resurfaced constantly, basically. So what this would do is it would just stop people from putting their grubby little feet all over your bar. And it's just going to give it a nicer look in general. You don't have to do it. It's something that's really unnecessary. It's a feature that's definitely there on most real bars, but you'd probably never notice in a million years that it was sitting there, unless you really understood a lot about bars and how they worked. So again, it's not that important, but I'd put it there just to give our bar a little more class. Something in your game that maybe won't be in other games where people are going to be like, whoa, they took the time to do these extra things. Totally up to you, though. So we're just going to shrink that down, something like that, and stretch it one way like this. When you're happy, and obviously I'm not going to take the exact time, but what I would do is probably try to figure out the coordinates on it and just match it. It'll tell you the size one way or another, and just match all the sizes, basically. Make sure it's the same length if you're really worried about it and want it to be absolutely symmetrical. Then you just bump this guy into place and maybe shrink it down a little more. Something like this, okay? Maybe even a little more, because you want it to have its own look and be very specific. You have to mess with the sizes a little bit, but I think you guys get it. Okay, so there's a kick bar. Something that's on most bars that most people probably wouldn't notice to tell you to put there in the first place. Okay? And there's a few different ways we can connect them to each other, but I would just do this in one piece. I'm trying to click that one down there. Oh my goodness. There we go. It's too far away. When things are too far, they tend to click the wrong thing. I just Control J to connect the whole thing. And that way, if we want to adjust the size, it'll all adjust together now. Okay? Not a big deal, though. And then we'll do Shift A again. I'm just going to try something. I don't know how it's going to look, but I have seen it on some bars. So what we'll do is bump this up here, bump that out there, shrink it down, and it's basically the same thing. It's just to protect the edge of your bar. Oops. I don't know how it's going to look, but let's give it a try and see how it looks. And if we don't like it, we'll just get rid of it. But that's going to be a lot of this stuff. Is as you're trying new stuff, you're going to see how it looks, and if you like it, you keep it, and if you don't, just get rid of it. It's real simple. I think I like it. I think I like the way it looks, and that's like usually bars have that little lip there. It helps you keep from scratching the counter, but it also helps you keep from dragging your drinks off the edge. Usually they catch it before they fall, and so on. So again, it's up to you if you want to keep this look, but I think I will. I think I like it. I was looking at this a bit, though. I might do, if I were you guys, is just bump those guys in and move these guys on the inside, I think. So just grab both of those and just drag them in like that, something like that. And then we'd have to shrink them a little bit, something like that. Just think it'll be a cleaner look for the bar edge, and I know mine aren't exactly in place, but I think you get what I'm saying. It looks a lot better. I'd have to move them back a little bit, obviously, and fix that. Okay. And then I just have to shrink this edge and match it up again, but you get the idea. Oh boy. It looks pretty good, I'd say. I don't know what else you guys would want for a tavern. Do you guys need kegs? Do you need wine barrels? What do you need? Let me know in the comments and I'll keep going. If not, I'll probably end this one here. We'll do some color in here and we'll be finished, I think. But I'm just not really sure what else you guys want. So if you can come up with some ideas or you guys need something specific, let me know and I'll do it. But otherwise, this will probably be the end of the bar series. And I'm just going to attach them all. I'm going to attach our kick thing to it. Alright, we're all attached. So we'll go to coloring now. And we just got to try to give them some really different coloring to highlight the different colors, basically. So you're going to want a lot of color schemes. I'm going to start off gray. If you watch any of my videos, it's usually what I do. Something like that. Alright, make sure you're in edit mode. Hit L over this, and we'll hit plus. We'll make them a different color. We'll hit new. We'll make them, let's just make them black for now, but we'll make them aluminum later maybe or something. Maybe we'll make this black as well. Maybe we'll make this a wood color, but we'll make it a different wood color than the rest of the wood colors we're going to make. So go brown, something like that. And then we'll go a little bit darker just to give it a woody color. Something like that, okay. And then we'll do the rest of it one other color. So we're just going to push L over the pieces we want to grab, everything that's left basically. If you want to do more than that, if you want to do more colors than that, you're welcome to do them, but I'm just going to go with these colors. And we'll just do another woody color, but we'll make it slightly different so we can see there's a contrast between the two. And it doesn't really matter, but when we get in game, it's going to just give us an extra slot for we can make them a bit different. And there we go. And if you ask me, that looks like a pretty nice little bar. It's one piece, easy enough to move, and should be able to put in your game pretty easily. Have no issues with it, really. Now you're going to have taken your time a little more on these edges that I just kind of rushed together, but it's not hard to adjust them, obviously. Okay. I don't know if we should bother coloring anything over here. I guess just the candle maker if you guys really want to. We'll do it real quick. I would probably start off with a gold color. And then I'd do the top half with a new color, which would be a white yellow, something like that, I guess. And then maybe I just do this little tip if I can do it separate. Yep. New, plus, and I would do it black, I guess, because it would be charred from being burnt. Okay. Don't think the fork or anything else really needs to be colored. Maybe the table, I guess. Let's do the table real quick. Just hit A over it, grab it all. Maybe we'll do just 2 color schemes on it, just to make it simple, but still same thing. Kind of want to add contrast, like some woods look darker than other spots than others. It just gives it more character, if you ask me. And if you have a different idea, that's totally fine. Do what you think is best, because you got to make things your own, right? And I totally get that. I'm just going to make this a second color. Don't have to do it. Up to you. But I think it'll look pretty good, so I'm going to do it. Okay? You can see a little bit of contrast. Just adds a little bit of life to it. Do the same thing with the chairs. Probably won't bother, because I think you guys can manage to get your 2 colors on those by now after I showed you the other ones, and I don't want to waste your time. So I think we'll finish up here, guys, and thanks a lot for watching. Make sure you thumbs up, like, subscribe, and check out my game in the link below if you're just looking for something fun and you want to support a small-time game maker. Well, thank you very much for checking it out. If not, that's fine. Thanks for watching, guys.